the mic moved over here. Hopefully it's a little bit better. I'm going through different streaming platform when logging in. If you get that, so we're not getting any feedback coming out of that sucker. All right, anybody logging in, if there's any issues with the audio or video, let me know, because I'm trying this new Streamlabs OBS platform. And I move my mic over here. So moving forward, hopefully you can hear me better. All right, so accountability day 2. I am working through Gaddiments. Today, just one exercise, maybe part of another exercise. I am on page 3. Flamadiddles displaced. It's a butt kicker, and then maybe a little bit of this flam taps and Flamadiddles displaced. Grab a copy of this book if you don't have it. HudsonMusic.com or anywhere where Hal Leonard is distributed. They should have it. All right, so let me just try it cold. This is Flamadiddles displaced performance tempo. I'm going to take this earpiece off. Hopefully you can hear that. All right, let's see here. What happened to the window? All right, looks like everything's coming through okay. So if not, just let me know. I'm testing this new streaming platform here. For me, I'm new to this world. It's the Stream Deck software, so hopefully it's working. Great. I want to stop worrying about it and just go back to practicing. Cool. All right. All right, so this exercise, if you don't have the book, he's just moving the rudiment Flamadiddles over by a 16th note every measure. With, he's having to cut some, he does 4 in the first measure, adds a 16th to then get the displaced on the E, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. So it looks like he's adding, is he adding a 16th each time? 1, 2, 3, adds a note, and then adds a note. That then when he gets to the 4th displacement, that's the measure that screws me up. So the first measure, that's the rudiment, the Flamadiddle, right? Now what again, if you watch the way Steve plays this in the free videos that come with the book, he's playing real loose. Not a huge separation between accents and taps as they do in modern drum corps. He's playing it more open with high taps. And he's kind of floating the hand that's preparing for the accent. And fairly wide. I think to get this with the right interpretation, at least for me. Fairly wide grace notes. There is a spot in the video where Steve hits a couple of flat flaps, so it's going to happen. So the first measure, you're just playing the rudiment as it is in the PAS chart. But when you get to beat 1, you play a single tap, and then you start playing Flamadiddles off of the left hand. So the first 2 measures, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Even that is giving me fits. 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The anxiety of having to play a paradiddle starting on the E. That is the pain point for this whole exercise for me. The Us aren't as big of a challenge when we get there. It's the E's. To naturalize, to normalize the E's. 1 E, 2 E, 3 E, 4 E. That is, let me refresh this so I know what's happening. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can even feel it in my breath. There's like an anxiety that's popping into my breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Why? Why is that so painful? 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. I feel myself taking shorter breaths. I don't know if you have that same issue with this exercise, but that's what's happening to me, is I am taking shorter breaths. So this exercise for me is all about relaxing and flowing through the offbeats, right? Okay, sorry, I'm getting used to the technology, so bear with me here. So let's not count and just kind of tap. Now, this is something I've talked about and with students often, is any kind of accent pattern that goes off the beat. I tend to focus not on the accents and try to focus on whatever note is landing on the downbeat. So 1, 2, first measure, it's easy because the flam is on the downbeat. But when you get to the E, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4. It's actually the third note in the C, because a Flamadiddle, the challenge of this rudiment is each hand has to play 4 notes in a row. It's an accent followed by 4 taps. But when you play that displaced one, Is that right? Yeah, so the downbeat happens on the second note in your string of 4. Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. Ooh. So there's a groove to it if you listen to every element of that displaced paradiddle, flam paradiddle. So if you only focus on where does the accent land, you're missing all the feel, which is what the unaccented notes do. So I'm listening to making sure that that second note of the taps is landing with the click. That note. So anyone who's just tuning in, I'm on the Flam Paradiddles Displaced. This is page number 3 from Gaddiments. Exercise number 1, I'm focusing on measure 2, which is with the Flam Paradiddles Displaced, so starting on the E's. To me, this is the whole crux of this particular exercise, is to normalize that weird interpretation of the Flam Paradiddle. First 2 measures. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Counting out loud is tough. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Still feels really awkward, like I'm about to fall over. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, then the third measure where you displace it again by adding a 16th, so it gets to the and. That is sort of strange, but it's not too strange. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, and 2, and 3, 4. 1, and 2. So first 3 measures, see if I can get on the flow. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope. 2, that E is sucky. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, again, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. So now I'm also thinking, and 2, and 3, and 4, and can I sync it with eighth notes? 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, repeat and go. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, The E, man. It's all about the E. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4. The 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 4 E and a 1. I've got to spend some time just playing that. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1. I can do it by itself, but something about I'm feeling that my pulse is starting to be like unconfident when I get to the E's. I'm sort of like gradually 1, 2, 3 without it, instead of it being defined. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna guess if any of you have this book. Hopefully you have a copy, or else why would you be listening to this? If you don't have a copy, get one. HudsonMusic.com. It's always best to get it straight from their site rather than through a third party like Amazon or something. It's because you have to pay fees every time they sell it through Amazon. So if you're going to buy a book from an independent publisher like Hudson, go to the website and get it there. If you're like me, sight reading through this the first time, you probably tried to get through that second measure, or just like close your eyes and just get to the end of it so you can get back to the third measure and oh yeah, it's sort of comfortable again. It's cool for sight reading, but if you don't spend the time, at least for me, I'm talking to myself, if I don't spend the time making the worst parts of this as comfortable as the best parts of this, then I'm not really practicing. I'm not really getting any better. I'm just kind of repeating the same bad habits and mistakes. Even if they're not technically mistakes, there's something uneasy about it. And what's uneasy about it for me is 1 E and I can't 1. The pulse is a low note. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E. Now I don't want to have to count every 16th note. I want to be able to just feel it as a bigger pulse. But the problem when you start feeling the pulse like this is you lose that point. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Starting to feel it. Now if I go from the first measure to the second measure without having it become uncomfortable. Nope, I'm still guessing where that downbeat is. All right, now let's deal with that fourth measure. So first measure is easy. Second measure needs a lot more work. Third measure is pretty easy. The fourth measure, which he actually does the displacement instead of waiting to the following measure to change it, he changes it on the of 4. So you're getting one less flam paradiddle in that third measure. It took me a minute to kind of sort out the transition there, but then that 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4. know about you, but I've never played Flamadiddles starting on the Interestingly, I find they're easier to settle because it's one, one, one. One, two, three, four. For whatever reason, easier for me to internalize that versus one E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. I think the E is infinitely more difficult than the probably because I've played, so much music involves accenting on the one, 2, 3. It's not that syncopated. 1, 2, 3, 4, but 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and 2 E and a 4. What are you saying, Brock? What's up, Brock? What's up, Dan? Made more sense in my brain when you separate the limbs on different surfaces. Yep. What's up, Tony? The E can suck it. Nah, the E's gonna be your friend. He's not your enemy. Yeah, playing it on different surfaces. When you separate the hands, it just becomes a string of rhythms that you really can kind of find the pocket for. I keep missing the jump to the I always want to play 4 instead of 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. So that's the whole first 4 measures. Let's see if I can play it in tempo. 2 and 3 and 4 and then switch. The E's, man, you're right, Tony. The E's can suck it. Wonder why it's easier. Wonder why it's easier for me to hear the downbeat. I don't know why that's easier for me to get it to sit in the right spot when it's on different surfaces. 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. So much easier. No idea why. Maybe because I'm not getting obsessed with the accuracy of the subdivision and I'm just trying to get the flow. I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because the R is playing 1 E. Yeah, let's do it like I'll put the right hand on the pad, and what does that sound like? No idea why. Am I the only one? Am I weird? But I can feel the phrasing a lot better when I split the hands. Let's try it together again. 3 and 4. It's weird again. I think it's because all the damn 16 notes, I'm hearing them all. Tony, you taking your messages away? What'd you say there? 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I don't know why. Someone please diagnose me. So much easier for me to feel that. It's like I'm rushing or something. Let's try with 16 notes and see if I am in fact D and full N. What are you saying? I jumped in late. Did you repeat the measure at the beginning? When I first logged on, I was just isolating measure 1, measure 2, measure 3, and then 4. So I just isolated measure 2 for a while. But right now, no, I'm just playing it as written. See if I can do it with split hands. 1 and 2 and D and 4 and. I don't know about you, but it feels to me so much more in the pocket. But I bet the moment I play them both on the pad, D and 4 and. There we go. Finally started to click a little bit. Your left flam drags compared to the right, you mean like the left hand lead? That whole, I mean, I've been playing this thing like a obsessive nerd for the past couple days. I couldn't get through the left hand lead without at least half of the left hand flams flattening out. Which is weird. What's weird to me about a Flamadiddle is so you got this, right? That's what your right hand's doing. But it's not really what it's doing because you have to rush that second note to make it a grace note. It's not the second note. It's third note. You have to kind of rush that third note in each hand because each hand plays 4 notes in a row. That note. You have to kind of rush that third one to turn into a grace note. If you want the accent to land directly on the click. You have to push that third tap a little bit ahead, or else you end up with this. If you put them all right in time, you just end up with a flat flam. So if you're aiming to get your primary note on the click, you have to push that note ahead. You could do what Steve does, which is he makes just like he did in the the warm up in the 1 and 2. When he plays higher, that means it just takes longer, so that stick just hits later. So I bet if you gritted out what Steve plays, his grace note probably falls on the beat. right? I don't know if you can hear that, but the grace note I'm trying to land right with the click, and then as a result, 1, 1, 1, 1. The accent falls behind the beat, which gives it, in my mind, the behind the beat kind of Steve Gadd vibe. I'm sure he's not thinking that way, but because he's not compensating the speed of his sticks, his strokes, regardless of height, and he's not, I don't think he's rushing those grace notes. I have to analyze his playing a little bit more to say that with confidence, but I think he's letting the accent fall a little bit behind. You can hear that, but I feel like it was just so wide and open, but still in time. Maybe that's the key. Again, if you want to play that behind the beat, backbeat, it's not late, it's not slower. Think of it as it's the primary note of a flam, but the grace note is what hits on the beat. So if you're playing a groove, you play a left-hand flam, whatever, however you orchestrate your kit. The right is going to hit on the beat, and then the left is going to be that primary note that comes right after the beat. Try that. A lot to be unpacked from these seemingly simple exercises from the great Steve Gadd. All right, so let's see if I go with that interpretation of not trying to push the grace note ahead. Just letting the grace note, all the taps be on time, and then the accents kind of fall behind. Let's see what it feels like. And I'm going to take off this, so it's not as easy to determine. Feels like it's getting more natural. That's the ticket. Brock, what do you mean that's the ticket? Playing with the grace note in time and the accents a little bit late, or pushing the grace note ahead so you can get the accent in time? Which interpretation for you is the ticket? By the way, if you noticed in the last video, my pinkies are starting to come out. That's deliberate because I'm trying to go for a very open, loose fulcrum. Yeah, if you want to get the accent right in time, you have to sneak that. You can't really, I can't separate the hands and have it, my hands just don't compensate if they're not hearing the actual flam. Yeah. Yep, definitely. I'm pushing a little bit there. Let's try that interpretation. Still feel like I'm rushing the freaking E, so it hasn't gotten better yet. So I have to just go back to isolate. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, that 4. The low 1 E and a 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm trying to ignore the accents. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. can feel myself. There's like just anxiety with the E's, and I don't know why. That's that booger. All right, I'm going to flip the page here and do a little bit. Flam taps and Flamadiddles displaced. This sucker gets wicked real fast. First measure, 3 beats of flam taps and then a Flamadiddle. He slows it down 4 clicks for this one. 80 BPM. 2 and 3 and 4 and Right? So that's his that's Steve's way of kind of baiting you in to think, oh cool, this page ain't gonna be too hard, and then he displaces it. So that's all on the E's and U's. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Ooh, I'm rushing. 3 and 4 and. So there it is. Can you play E's and U's without losing the pocket? The last 2 bars of that sucker, so he flips it. So it's inverted flam taps, 1, 2, 3, 4 with the paradiddle, and then he goes with paradiddle, flam taps. I mean, you gotta have the book to see, but he's doing the paradiddles on the U's, 2 paradiddles on the U's, and then some flam taps. So it's freaking wicked. I'm not anywhere near ready for this one. Back to number 1. So 3 flam taps. Paradiddle. Again, I come from like a contemporary drum corps, modern marching band background, so I'm used to playing flam taps with like really low grace notes. So I'm intentionally trying to let this float. Let my arms do a wave, which in turn gives it a little bit of swing. It's almost like a Billy Higgins interpretation of a swing pattern. So I'm just going to repeat. Now I'm in this. He has it as, I guess it's example number 2, exercise number 2 on this page. I'm just going to do the first 4 bars over and over again. Anybody like sing melodies when they practice this kind of stuff? I hear it almost like a cascading scale. Notes they are, but I hear it going down some sort of scale. Is there a term for that, for the ever descending scale that just sounds like it's always going down because different people in the ensemble, they jump octaves, so you're constantly going down a scale, but then at some point you jump back up an octave, and it's at a different point when someone else jumps up an octave, so it just sounds like it's the never ending scale. There's a music theory term for that. Somebody help me out. What is that called? Gosh, Wilco even did it at the ending of one of their songs. Shepherd something? Someone Google it. Shepherd. It's Shepherd something. Shepherd scale? What the heck is it? Shepherd, bear with me. I have to know what this is. Shepherd scale? Shepherd's tone. Aha! Shepherd's tone. All right, Tony. There's your click. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. All right, everyone should, when you get done with this stream, YouTube Shepherd tone and check it out. It's this weird it's not an optical illusion, it's an aural illusion. It just sounds like the scale is going down, but it never stops. It just keeps going and going, but without getting lower. It's like it's this weird kaleidoscope of a scale that keeps going down. Anyway, that's what I hear. These accents. It's a Shepherd tone. What is the resolution on this thing? Oh, it's just a paradiddle. Ah, he ends with a flam tap. Weird. So I was practicing this thing earlier at 84 for reference. So that's not right. Steve wrote it at 80. Slow down. 3 and 4 and that last line. Screw you. All right. Anyone else struggling? It helps for me to sing this stuff as some sort of a melodic thing, rather than trying to place those E. Doesn't really make. I can't like find any sense of phrasing that way. Try 16th notes. Says number 2. Dang it! Almost got to the end. That last line is killing me, even though it's just the repetition. I think it's just the, getting to the end. You want to rush to make sure you don't screw it up. Yeah, Shepherd's Tone is a pretty amazing. I don't know who. Definitely. Oh, sweet, man. Yeah, reading it. Get yourself a copy of the book if you don't have it, because, yeah, how could you possibly memorize all this? Shepherd's Tone, yeah. I just Wikipedia'd it. Roger Shepard is the composer who is credited with creating that. It is the superposition of sine waves separated by octaves. So yeah, whatever. Just listen to it. Wilco did it. I don't remember what song, but Wilco did it at the end of one of their songs. And it's amazing because it just keeps getting more intense and it never ends. It just, I think on the record, it kind of fades out. It's super cool. Anyway, let's go back to the beginning on the downbeat. Number 2. Shouldn't talk. They're going to go 1 and then the 2, 3 and 4 and 1. Repeat. Back to the beginning. Woo, doggy. Beyonce's Love on Top. Is it? I have to listen to that. I don't know that tune. I'm not part of the Beehive. Alright, I think I've melted my brain. Do I remember how to play the first one now? Let's go back to the displaced paradiddle one last time. 2, 2, and 3 and a 40 and a damn it. Nope. From the beginning. 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. What the hell? Well, see, I got all Shepherd's Tone in my brain. Alright, one more time here. Let's go back to quarter notes. It shouldn't be. There we go. Flamadiddle displays top to bottom. 1 and 2 and ready and weird. Repeat it. Left. All right. I'm going to end it with one more read through of the weird flam taps and displaced flam paradiddles. And this will be it. So anyone who's stuck it out with me here, let me know how you get through some of these. Any tactics, any tricks. I think splitting the hands is helpful. I think assigning some sort of melody or bass line to the accent patterns is helpful. Isolating whatever's tricky and just playing it super duper slow is what I need to do. It's not as fun. But here we go. 80 BPM. I don't like that he slowed down the tempo here, but it's the way it is. 1 and 2 and ready and go. flam tap, paradiddle, flam tap, flam tap. Repeat it. Fudge. Here we go. 1, 2, from the beginning. Two. Made it. All right. Thank you all. Hope you hope you can laugh at your own mistakes. It's all supposed to be fun. What is that? The F dash. Have fun with it. Get yourself a copy. I'm gonna jump into. Looks like hey, goes to A floats for the next few exercises. So maybe we'll do all the eighth note stuff. See what's kind of hiding in there next week, but I'm going to sign off, go get myself a drink of water, and see you next week. Have a good one.